everybody, this is Spencer of the Brony Clubhouse, and we are here with all of our pony friends, and we are here with the 500 subscribers special! Okay, so, a really big thanks to everybody, all of our subscribers on YouTube. Without your guys' support, we would not be where we are now, and we will continue to grow. To all our Twitter followers, to all our Facebook fans, a couple of people that I want to thank as well as the Everfree staff, Final Draft, and all of the great people who we've been working with. Thank you guys so much. I mean, it's a small step for us, but you know what? We're gonna keep going, and with season 2 coming up soon, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be great. Hi, and so everyone here at the Clubhouse really appreciates the support. And as a 500 subscriber special, I am here today to give you guys a little. There's a fish. There is something that I wanted to talk about with you guys that I think will be really useful. Now, if you're watching this on stream and you're planning to go to Equestria LA, which is going to be May 10th through the 12th, you really want to listen up here. This is my gift to you. If you have never been to a convention, this is going to be a really helpful tool for you. This is my convention survival guide. Now what this is, I've been to many conventions before. I've been going to conventions since 2006. And every convention that I've gone to, I've learned something new. Whether it's something, something to make my experience at the convention a lot better, a lot more fun. And if you've never been to, if Equestria LA is going to be your very first convention, there are some things that you probably want to keep in mind that maybe you've never thought about. And the great thing about this is, if you have been to a convention, you may learn something new here today. So I've got myself a small list here, and I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to cover really basic things. It's not like a super comprehensive guide. This is basically your starting point. If you've never been to a convention, or if you've never been to a My Little Pony convention specifically, here are some things, here's some tips and tricks, some do's and don'ts. And this is from my experiences. You guys maybe have had completely different experiences with conventions. But I wanted to share my experience and my knowledge with you guys as a thank you for being a subscriber. And if you're watching this on Everfree stream, you guys are awesome. For those who come by every week and show their love and show their support, we thank you. So let's get into this. So the biggest thing when it comes to going to a convention is to plan your trip accordingly. Now, if it's a convention that's local for you, you plan everything out from beginning to end, or at least have kind of an exoskeleton plan to get you through the convention. Now, what I mean by that is plan out your schedule ahead of time. If you know that the convention is 5 months down the road, if you have work or school, make sure that you have those days off ahead of time. Don't just go, oh, hey, I'm going to go to a convention tomorrow. It's really useful, especially if you're a student or if you are employed, make sure to get those days off. Make sure to get those, way ahead of time. And if it is a local convention, a really important thing, it may not help everybody, but it's really good to familiarize with the area of where the convention. For example, me, we live right here in this OC Anaheim area. The convention center's not too far from here. So, and I've been there many a times. And for Equestria LA specifically, it's going to be at the Anaheim Marriott. I went earlier, not today, but I've been there before, where I just scoped out the hotel. I looked at the layout, got a bit more familiar with it, and the surrounding area as well. It's really useful that you do that. Now, if you're flying, definitely, Google ahead of time. See what places are around, what restaurants are available. Make sure to plan your hotel. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to conventions. Make sure to plan your hotel way in advance. Make sure that you have all the information that you need to know. If you're just driving back and forth, make sure you know how much you're driving, how much gas you're going to need. There's a lot of planning. You don't think about it until it hits you that last week. Oh man, my convention's coming up in a few days. Or, Equestria LA is tomorrow and I've got nothing planned. You don't want that happening to you. I've done that before. And it's terrible. You get so stressed out, I got to plan this. Plan everything with time. Make sure that you have all the information that you're going to need, whether it's booking a flight, what hotel you're going to be staying at, the rates, Or even if something is food, how much money are you going to spend on food? And it's better to have some sort of schedule than having nothing at all. Even if you don't keep to your schedule, at least, you can at least say, okay, well, I was going to do this, but I can change it. And a big thing, too, is that if you're planning a trip to a convention, to always keep an eye on the season, which also goes into the planning process. If it's going to be hot in the summer, maybe I shouldn't take sweaters, and vice versa for the winter. Now, a big thing about conventions that most people don't, I guess first-time con goers don't really take into consideration, is money. Money is a big thing, and it's a big part of your convention experience, and how little or how much you have can make or break the difference. If you plan out your trip, and let's say the estimation is about, $500 for your whole convention experience, bring more than what you estimated, because emergencies can happen. Maybe you really wanted that really special plushie that they only had a limited time offer on. Maybe you wanted to try out that $20 buffet that they had, or, any other kind of emergencies can occur. To my LPU people, you know what I'm talking about. Always bring more than what you're expected to have. It's whether it's a credit card or cash, just something that you put on the side that you don't use. It's really important to have that, because you never know. You don't want to, again, if if you're at LPU, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, here's another big thing about convention experiences. Bring the essentials. Now, that might be a little bit broad, but I'm going to go down with some specifics here with you. If you're planning to stay at a hotel specifically, there are some things that you really want to bring, because they're going to be very useful. It's something that not a lot of people think about ahead of time when it comes to bringing things to a hotel. You don't just bring your clothes and there's a horrible noise. You just don't bring money. You need to bring some things. For example, clothing. How much clothing should you bring? Well, my general rule of thumb is, if you're planning to go to a convention, let's say 3 days, bring 4 days worth of clothing. That includes, shirts, pants, socks, underwear, whatever. It's better to, like money, it's always better to be safe than sorry when it comes to your clothing, because you never know. You could, it could be a really hot day and you get really sweaty. I know that happens to me sometimes. It's always good to bring an extra shirt to keep you cool, or, if it's really cold, might want to bring that extra layer of clothing so you're not freezing outside. Now, there are some really cool things that I have never thought about bringing to a hotel room before, and it really helps out. One really useful thing, if you are staying at a hotel, bring a power strip. I did not think about this up until a couple of years back, and it's amazing. When you're in a room full of people and you need to charge cell phones, you need to charge laptops, you need to charge tablets, and all kinds of other things, your friends are going to thank you. If you're staying in a room with more than 2-3 people and you bring a power strip, it's a lifesaver. Because hotels generally give you a couple of outlets to work with, but like I said, when you got 4 phones and 2 laptops and this and this and this, it gets crazy. It gets so crazy. Now, a really big thing that you want to keep in mind when you're going to convention, sweet Mother of Celestia, this is really important, bring water. Conventions are so much fun, and you're going to be walking around a lot. You're going to be running around. If you're working a convention, you're just a con goer. If you're going to need water. Stay hydrated. It's a very, very important thing to have with you. You guys have no idea how many times I've seen people running around for 3 days in a convention. On the last day, they're literally passing out from heat exhaustion. It's ridiculous. Bring water. Have water with you at all times. Another good alternative is like sports drinks. Sports drinks are fine. You can always bring some of those, Gatorade, Powerade. Something to keep your body with energy, hydrated. Very, very important. A lot of people think, bring water. But again, you'd be surprised how many times people forget such a basic rule as bring water. Very important. Now, this is a really useful item to have with you. If you're a woman, you're at an advantage. If you're not, then you have alternatives. To bring a small travel bag or like a purse. It's really useful when you're walking around a convention floor and you're getting goodies and swag and you're buying some stuff. It's really cumbersome to carry all this stuff in your arms, in a couple bags. But if you have a little travel bag, maybe like a backpack, a small backpack, it helps out so much. I have this small bag that I carry with me at all times for conventions. It's a lifesaver. I mean, I put my water in there. I put, the next thing that I'm going to talk about, I put all kinds of things in here. And it's very useful. It's very handy to have that on you. Preferably something small, maybe something lightweight. You don't want to be carrying like an army backpack or anything, unless that's all you got. Now, it's again, a lot of these things are really kind of, we should be bringing these, but a lot of people forget. Always carry a cell phone on you. It's really important. If you're by yourself, it may not be so big of a deal, but if you're with a group of friends or, you need to have constant contact with somebody, bring a phone. And have it charged too. Always bring a charger with you. If you're running around a convention floor and for whatever reason, I'm at 5%. Hey, maybe find somewhere to plug it in and just keep a watchful eye on it. It's really important to bring a phone and have it with you at all times. Now, if you're a first-time convention goer, this is probably going to be maybe a little surprising for you. You're going to be waiting in lines a lot. To get into the, normally it's the, the shopping place or the exhibit hall to get into really popular panels, you're going to be waiting sometimes for hours. And if you're by yourself, it's going to get a little boring. Unless you're like me and you just start talking to people and make all kinds of friends like Pinkie Pie. Woo! Bring some sort of entertainment device, whether it's a phone with games on it, bring, like a handheld, I've got this. I bring my 3DS everywhere I go. It's really important that you bring something to keep you sane while you're waiting in lines. Or, some other people, if you're like Twilight, you could bring a book. Maybe bring a, Kindle. Bring a thing to keep you entertained because you're going to need it. And it's always a good way to meet friends. Mario Kart is your best friend for meeting friends. And this is going to be it's going to be so important to you, you won't even realize it until the moment of bring snacks. Bring things that are my phone is going off. Bring things that are really, really, that are going to keep your energy up. Like protein bars are a really good thing. What I did at LPU, I brought fruit snacks. I brought little fruit snacks. It's something that will give you energy, will keep you going for the rest of the day. As I mentioned earlier, when you're planning your schedule, you want to try to find a place to eat in that schedule. But, circumstances might change. You may not have the time for it, but at least you'll have a snack. Something that won't dehydrate you either. When I say snacks, don't go buy a bag of chips. All that salty, it's gonna mess you up. You want to bring something that's gonna give you a little bit of energy. Maybe like, depending on what you like, maybe some trail mix or something. Try to avoid things with salt. It's really useful to have, something that you can just keep with you. Or, I would say don't bring anything that you have to refrigerate. Something that will spoil. You really don't want that. Anything that's just small and doesn't require a fridge, that's what I would recommend. So you can, adjust accordingly. Now this is just my personal preference because I've been to many conventions where people don't bring this and it hurts. If you're a man, bring cologne. If you're a woman, bring perfume. And when I say a cologne or when I say bring perfume, I don't mean bring Axe body spray because when you're in a friggin' panel room with like 100 other people, and they're all sweaty, and they're all wearing Axe, it's death. It's not pretty. It's horrible. You don't want that. Just bring something that's really easy on the senses. I don't know, go to Bath & Body Works, get a little something. It's going to be really useful, and, people won't look at you and make that weird, ew, what's that smell face? You don't want that. Now, talking about with snacks, a lot of people go to conventions, they have a lot of fun, and they forget to eat. A very basic human thing. You gotta eat, guys. If you just can't make it to a restaurant, bring snacks. Would you shut up, phone? Bring snacks. I'm just gonna shut up, phone. Bring snacks. Go get food. Have someone go get you food. You need to eat. You need to keep your energy up when you're at these conventions, because you're gonna be running around. You're gonna be going to panels. You're gonna be going to parties. And I'm guilty of this myself. I've run around for almost 10 plus hours, and I'm like, when did I eat last? It's really bad. You want to have at least, I would say, if you can fit it in with your schedule, and I would suggest doing so, 2 meals. Something in the morning, shortly after waking up, and something later in the mid-afternoon going into nighttime. If you have those 2 big meals and a couple snacks along the way, you will be A-okay. You will not die. We don't want you dying at a convention. Now, speaking of conventions, of course, a lot of people go to conventions for one purpose and one purpose only. They just want to buy stuff, like these lovely things here. My personal suggestion, unless it's a limited edition item or an item that is very limited on print, they don't have a lot, or it's a high demand item like these crazy plushies, hold off and shop first before buying anything. You want to go around and try to get an estimation on prices if you really want to get, posters. Generally speaking, it's usually big companies who go to these conventions and they sell a lot of things. For Equestria LA, for example, it's usually community vendors. They got people who make cool pony stuff. And of course, there's big stuff like We Love Fine. You want to maybe hold off, unless it's a huge, a really popular item, you might want to hold off on it until the last day. Oftentimes, the seller may want to get rid of a lot of their stock on the last day, and to do so, they offer discounts. You might be able to get what's normally $10, well, you might be able to get it for, $8 if you buy two of the same item. They're really good when it comes in, some people are really flexible with discounts, and it doesn't hurt to know how to haggle and bargain with people. So I would say hold off until the last day, unless you really got to have that big Celestial plushie or whatever it is, or something that they just came out with, because you might be able to save yourself a couple bucks, and who doesn't like some savings? Jump cuts! Okay, moving on along here. Now, this is one of my main points when it comes to for conventions. It's going to be useful to you if you're doing this, and it's going to be useful to any friends that you have that are doing this. Cosplaying. Be respectful to cosplayers. If you're a cosplayer yourself, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to say it now. Cosplay does not mean consent. Okay? Don't go around groping people and hugging people. Yeah, we're a loving community as bronies, but sometimes people may be shy. They may not be so open to those kinds of things. Treat them with respect, because at the end of the day, they're still people underneath all their suits and colorful outfits. They want to be treated with respect. They like to, it's cool to take a couple of pictures, but be respectful. Always ask if you can take a picture. The only exception I would maybe say is, you might see this sometimes at conventions, where you'll have one person posing and there's a circle of photographers. That's usually you can bust out your camera and start snapping, some pictures. Always, if you want to, put your arm around them or hug them or whatever it is, just ask them. Most cosplayers will tell you, sure, why not, dude? Come on, let's just, have fun. But you never know. Don't just assume they're going to be okay with it. Some people are really shy. Some people are really uncomfortable with that. It's just respect people's boundaries and pick your spots. That's a really important thing. If you see someone, if they're just on their phone and they're hanging out and, they're eating or something, you generally don't want to go up to them and say, can I take a picture? They'll be available later. Just pick your spots, pick your time and spots. It's really important that you do that. Also, if you are cosplaying, keep in mind of the weather while you're cosplaying. It still blows my mind that I'll see somebody, during a convention in the summer wear a 7-layer outfit because they want to be this one cosplay of whatever it is. Or, they're maybe wearing like a skimpy looking no clothes outfit in below zero weather. Be smart, guys. I don't want anybody passing out of heat exhaustion or freezing themselves to death because they wanted to show off their new cosplay. Keep that in mind when you're cosplaying. It's gonna save your life. And just have fun, cosplayers want to have as much fun as you do taking pictures of them. It doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt to just tell him, hey, can I take a picture? Most people won't mind. And trust me, for you cosplayers, you're going to appreciate this kind of treatment. If people are going up to you and they're being nice about it, you might be inclined to get a couple more pictures. Now, I am so guilty of this next thing because I have not done this and it hurts. Get sleep. Conventions are so much fun and you get so into them and you go to parties and you go get food and then you start winding down and you refuse to sleep and you go to more parties. Guys, it's important when you're going to a convention, if they're 2, 3, 4, whatever, how long they are, get sufficient enough sleep. A personal experience of mine, last Equestria LA, I slept for an hour. 60 minutes. I ran around for 19 hours until I went to sleep again. Don't do what I did. It's terrible. It's bad for your health. I would recommend, your sleeping pattern might change a bit depending on the convention. My general suggestion, try to get 6 hours of sleep. More if you can. If you don't have if you don't have a panel that you didn't want to go to, or if you don't have to wake up until much later, awesome. But try to get some sleep. You're gonna thank me for this later. Your brain needs that rest to function. Your body needs that rest to function. All of your systems need sleep. Yeah, you maybe want to stay awake because there's a couple of parties in here going on, but you're gonna wake up the next morning and you're not gonna be feeling too good. Get some sleep. 6 hours a night. You'll thank me for it later. Now, this is my main absolute... If you leave here with just one thing in mind, just one, remember this rule. And we've said it before, and I've made it very clear that this is a very important rule to me personally. I take this to heart right here, wherever the Sapphire Shores is. Take a shower. You have no idea how it can get when you're in a big panel room with 300 plus people who don't practice good hygiene. It's murder, okay? It's absolutely unacceptable. Take a shower, guys. I know conventions are fun. I know you want to run around and do some stuff, but it doesn't take more than maybe a good 30 to an hour or two a day to take a shower. And I don't mean, go hose off with just get a hose and just rinse yourself for 5 minutes in the shower. I mean a thorough, body scrub, deodorant, shampoo, face wash, Dove, the whole thing. You want to practice good hygiene. I can maybe understand if you're just a naturally sweaty person, that's cool, that's fine. Get something that's maybe antiperspirant, get some deodorant on you. Don't just go, Axe, I took a shower. That doesn't count, guys. Take a shower. If you're driving to a convention back and forth, take a shower before you go and take a shower when you get back. If you're staying at a hotel, shower when you wake up. Maybe take a shower during the middle of the day and maybe take a shower at night. 2 to 3. That's my recommendation. You'll see me taking more than 2 showers in a day. Because, I'm a sweaty, I'm a big guy and my jeans are messed up. I sweat. But I try my best to not just be a sweaty mess for an entire 3-4 days of a convention. Don't do it. Take a shower, please. And if you don't take a shower, I will call you on it. I promise this. I will find you. I will say, yo, sweaty McSmelly man, go take a shower. And this applies to women too. Don't you be running around without showers, man. Just take a shower. Everyone will thank you. Now, this is a really big, important rule, and especially at Brony conventions that I've seen this not handled so well. It's the same idea with cosplayers. Treat your guest of honors with respect. And now what I mean by that is, the guests of honor are there to have as much fun as you do. They want to go, they want to meet their fans, they love meeting new people, and they love making friends just as much as the rest of us. Now, and that's great. I mean, why do you go to conventions? Because you want to meet your favorite actor or your favorite comic book writer. They're like our heroes. That's why we go. But you want to, there's, again, like cosplayers, there's still people at the end of the day. You want to treat them with respect. And this is a big thing that I've seen, particularly with Brony conventions. Some of you guys, I know you do it innocently enough. Some of you guys do this on purpose. But I'm gonna give you some tips here. During whether it's an autograph session, during a meet and greet, during a Q&A panel, if they're there to be asked questions, ask them questions. My recommendation, try not to sit there and tell them your life story or, ask the same questions that's been asked 100 times over. Ask them something fun. Ask them something unique. Don't be scared to ask a question if it's unique and different and no one's ever asked it. Ask those kind of questions because those are the fun questions. And specifically with My Little Pony conventions, I'm going to say it now. Some of you guys are not going to like me. Don't ask a voice actor of My Little Pony or a writer, musician, whatever. Don't ask them about their favorite clock fic. They're not going to appreciate it none too much. Especially when it comes to voice actors. And this applies to everything at this point. Don't ask a voice actor about a season that has not been released. For example, with Equestria LA coming up, don't ask them about season 4. Don't ask them about Equestria Girls. Why? Because they cannot. They are legally bound to not say anything. Don't ask them those questions. This is general knowledge. Everybody should know this. But some people just, they forget. And they ask, are you going to be playing so-and-so in season 4? They're going to give you the, hey, look, a moose. You're going to hear it. You're going to look silly. Do yourself the favor and avoid those questions altogether. And another thing, and I've seen this, I know it's fun. You guys have seen me do different things on like YouTube and all kinds of other things. Do yourself the favor and don't do an impression of a voice actor's character in front of them. Because chances are, they can do a better job of it than you can. So, people are sneezing, it's okay. Don't ask them, it's flattering, but just don't. They can do a better job than you can. Believe me so. Just be respectful, mind your questions. If you want to ask something really fun, ask them something really different, like, what's your favorite kind of... People's cell phones are ringing. Ask them their favorite kind of movie. Or ask them, what cities would you love to go to? Something different. You guys can come up with better things than I can. I'm not that clever. But keep all those other kinds of questions and comments and my life story. Keep those things to yourselves. You'll save yourself the embarrassment. And everything will run along very smoothly. More jump cuts! Okay, so now that we've gone through our entire list of things, there's one more really important thing that I need you guys, if you're going to leave here with anything, this is the one that you definitely want to part with. Have fun! Conventions are places for you to meet new friends. Conventions are places to meet your biggest stars and community guests. They're a place for you to go and buy cool things that you can't find anywhere else. For some people, they might be working. For others, it might just be a small vacation for them. But regardless, the point is to have fun. Have a good time. Have a bunch of laughs. You want to leave with that feeling going, oh my goodness, this was like the coolest convention ever. And I want to come back. And I want to go to more. If you leave with just that feeling and you really mean it, then hey, you had a pretty successful convention, I would say. Especially if it's your first time. It's always like a first impression. You don't want to go to a convention and go, oh, that was so lousy. I don't want to go again. You don't want to do that. You want to go to a convention and have fun. You want to feel that all of your money, your time, your efforts, your everything has been going to a great experience. And that's what a convention really is about. It's to make wonderful memories and to make more in the future. So, ladies and gents, that is my basic rundown of how to survive a first-time convention or to survive many more conventions to come. If you guys have any of your own tips and tricks that maybe I didn't mention, maybe something that I missed, since I didn't get to cover a lot of things, if you're watching this on stream, go ahead and post up a question, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment below. I really do mean it, because I can maybe do a follow-up video to this one. I would love to hear what you guys do to survive your convention experiences. And again, I'd like to thank everybody over at Everfree, my cast and crew here for the Brony Clubhouse. This is only 500 subscribers. We're going to get 500 more, and we're going to do the best job that we can to make you guys, just happy and entertained as much as these ponies make us happy. Ain't that right? Oh, she fell. So, my name is Spencer. I'm with the Brony Clubhouse, and we will see you guys at Equestria LA. Bye-bye! Pony.